I've seen way too many people rush out the door with a $100-ish starter sewing machine, only to end up with skipped stitches, tangled bobbins, and a pile of frustration when they finally try to sew a heavy curtain or a pair of denim jeans. The regret is real, and the temptation to replace the cheap tool with something better can feel like a gamble, especially when you're staring at a wall of options that all promise professional results. That's why I wanted to take a step back, look at the category as a whole, and ask the question, does the Janome HD9 heavy-duty high-speed sewing machine actually feel like a smarter buy, or is it just another pricey hype machine? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the kind of sewing you probably do. If you're a hobbyist who mostly mends seams, does occasional quilting, or stitches together simple home decor, a basic mechanical machine can get the job done. The problem shows up when the fabric gets thick, the project gets long, or you need to run a lot of stitches without stopping. That's where the heavy-duty label matters. The HD9 isn't just a larger version of a domestic machine, it's built around an industrial-style thread and bobbin system that can handle multiple layers of denim, canvas, or upholstery fabric without the motor stalling. One of the first things I noticed when setting it up was the extra-large bobbin capacity. Most home machines hold about 0.3 ounces of thread, this one takes roughly double that. In practical terms, if you're stitching a long piece of upholstery, you can run for a full hour before you have to stop and reload. That alone cuts down the stop-and-start fatigue that many sewists complain about when they're trying to keep a seam straight on a big project. Speed is another headline feature. The HD9 can push a straight stitch at up to 1,100 stitches per minute. For a machine in a home workshop, that feels almost industrial. I tried it on a heavy canvas tote bag, and the motor held steady even as the fabric thickened at the bottom. The stitch length stayed consistent, which is crucial when you're trying to keep seams even on a bag you plan to use daily. If you're the type of sewer who likes to finish a garment in a single sitting, that speed can be a real time saver. Now, the professional threading features are where the machine starts feeling user-friendly despite its industrial vibe. Janome has integrated a clear threading path with a built-in thread guide and tension dial that's easy to adjust on the fly. When I first loaded the machine, the threading process was smoother than many lower-priced machines where the thread constantly snags on the take-up lever. The tension adjustments made it possible to dial in a tighter tension for heavyweight denim, then loosen it for a delicate silk blouse without having to rethread everything. The adjustable presser foot pressure is another practical detail that shows up in real-world use. Heavy fabrics need more pressure to hold the material flat, while lightweight fabrics need less to avoid imprinting the foot onto the cloth. I switched from a leather belt project to a sheer organza dress in the same day, simply turning the pressure knob. The transition was seamless, and I didn't have to worry about the foot leaving unwanted marks. All of those strengths come with a couple of trade-offs that matter before you click buy. The machine is, as the name suggests, heavy. It sits on a sturdy metal base and weighs enough that you'll need a solid table or a dedicated sewing station. If you're renting a small apartment or you like to move your sewing setup from room to room, the weight could be a genuine inconvenience. The learning curve is also steeper than a typical 4-step mechanical machine. The threading system is intuitive, but the high-speed and industrial bobbin system mean you have to be comfortable with basic maintenance, cleaning the bobbin area and oiling the moving parts regularly. Newcomers who are just getting comfortable with the basics may feel a little overwhelmed. Who should buy the HD9? If you're an experienced sewer who regularly tackles heavy fabrics, think denim jackets, leather accessories, upholstery projects, or large home textile items, the HD9 feels like a workhorse that finally matches your ambition. It also makes sense for small business owners who need to produce pieces in volume. A high stitch rate and large bobbin mean less downtime and higher throughput. The bonus bundle that ships with the machine adds a few useful accessories, like extra presser feet, which can extend the range of projects without extra cost. Who should skip it? If you're mainly stitching lightweight cotton tees, repairing seams on everyday clothing, or just dabbling in craft sewing, a simpler, lighter machine will likely meet your needs at a lower price point. The HD9's weight and speed become less of a benefit and more of a hassle when you're only ever using a few stitches at a time. Also, if you're not comfortable with regular machine maintenance, you might find the